Subaru claimed he loved Emilia, then all of a sudden Emilia gets her own special. Could ReZero even survive without a good serving of Rem? So what's up guys, Foxen here. Just saw the second ReZero special. Time for my quick non-spoiler review and thoughts. Finally, the dozen of us Emilia fans are getting some love. But, should you even watch this? Honestly, I came out of this feeling pretty mixed. So if you love ReZero, definitely smash that thumbs up and subscribe. Unfortunately, that'll be the only Rem cameo this video. Maybe. As always, if you do have a spoiler question, feel free to ask down below. The sooner the better. Although this actual video is on spoiler. One of the biggest complaints of the ReZero Season 1 anime, besides Subaru saying he loved Emilia to Rem, was why exactly Subaru actually preferred Emilia. Which actually led into claims about this Emilia person. Who exactly was she? What was her story? Why is Emilia a half-elf? Is she truly a witch? A popular complaint being that Emilia was not fleshed out enough, at least for certain ReZero fans. Me not included. Fast forward a few years later, ReZero Season 2 has been announced, coming next year. For now, you have this Emilia ReZero special, one focusing on her backstory. Let me first touch on the story, non-spoiler stuff here. I've heard some people call this a ReZero prequel or Emilia prequel. Technically, this is set before the ReZero Season 1 anime, although I wouldn't necessarily call this a prequel. If you're at all expecting some details of Emilia when she was a kid, or some stuff about her parents, some more stuff involving the mystery of the witch, why Emilia is a half-elf, I would suggest leaving those expectations at the door. This ReZero special is set some time before the ReZero anime events, although at the time you do meet Emilia, she's already grown up. All that you know about Emilia at this point is her living in this nearby forest. And actually, the intro to this ReZero special made me think of the Star Wars Force Awakens movie with Rey and her initial setup. From the characters, naturally we gotta dive into Emilia. If you are craving to know a little bit more about Emilia, this should serve as a good appetizer. You do get a taste of Emilia's stat life before any of the Royal Selection events. You get a glimpse of her ice powers and some of the issues that Emilia has. I'll just mention that some of the stuff early on in this special does feel pretty dark. You'll definitely be thinking, Subaru, keep your distance. You do get to see hints and little details as to why Emilia is or acts as she does in the current story. Once again, you got Rie Takahashi voicing Emilia. Recently, she voiced Megumin in a different isekai movie. Emilia here actually kept reminding me of Tagaki from the recent role with Eren's voice actor from Attack on Titan. As for the second character with the most screen time, Puck, did you love this wonderful little kitty? I mean, really, who didn't? I'm still waiting for that Puck plush. For Puck here, it really feels like you're getting as much from him as you did from the entire first ReZero season. The special does get into the very special bond that these two have. It really is the Emilia Puck adventure. Naturally, all of this leads into a very emotional scene between Puck and Emilia. As for any other characters, it really is only Emilia and Puck. Other side characters do come and go fairly quickly. In case you are wondering about a possible villain figure, one of the trailers did show you this fire monster thing. So I'm not gonna go into the actual details, but it almost feels forced here, really just for Puck and Emilia to have some issue to tackle. A good comparison might be some of the earlier Marvel villains, when they had a pretty forgettable villain, but instead used that to build up the characters and their struggles. For the actual fire stuff here, notably ice going up against fire, the fire stuff I felt was lacking too. Perhaps I've just been spoiled with the gorgeous Fire Force anime. Getting into the music, honestly I really didn't notice anything from the soundtrack that stood out. I was actually expecting something from either Emilia's voice actors or Myth and Royd as the end song, but no. Getting into the animation, you got the White Fox Studio returning for this ReZero special. You got pretty consistent animation similar to the previous special and the ReZero anime. Sprinkled throughout this, there are a fair amount of action scenes. I would just say don't go into this expecting too much from them. Pretty much all of them are not memorable. The last one was especially disappointing or really just lackluster. On a positive note, if you do love snow or ice powers, you'll definitely love the stuff inside here. I especially loved and got chills from a certain red ice scene. For the best moment in this movie, that's definitely most of the emotional scenes from Emilia and Puck. Really a combination of their expressions plus the voice acting done. Alright, so a lot of good stuff, now getting into the actual issues. First off, a smaller issue. I mentioned the pretty average action sequences, most especially the last battle, if you could even call it a battle. Then getting into the bigger issue, it really feels like the special leans more towards ReZero light novel readers, especially anyone who's read the web novel. I'll just mention I have read past the anime, and I do know certain key plot points to come. But if you're anime only, it feels like you're going to be missing out due to having this gap in knowledge. There's a lot of details the anime already abridged or just simply skipped over. If you got some burning questions related to Emilia, her half-elf side, any relation to the witch, this special won't go into that. But if you're curious as to why Puck calls Emilia Leah, why he playfully calls Emilia his daughter, and other little things like that, that's the type of stuff you're gonna get from here. Throughout the story, you do get only teased at several reveals yet to come, some of the stuff from ReZero Season 2. From time to time, you do get flashes of mysterious text, combined with split-second flashbacks into Emilia's past, which do involve certain key figures and events. Again, stuff yet to come. This ReZero special actually reminded me of the first My Hero Academia movie, where they tried to make it canon, but in order to do so, they had to fit it in a pretty compact space. Let me actually flip this and be fair to this special. I really do think that instead of viewing this as a movie, it should be looked at as an OVA. That is, despite it playing on the big screen. The whole thing really is only an hour and 10 minutes, without credits, even less if you cut out the post-credit scene. So back to the important question, should you watch this? I definitely think certain ReZero fans should definitely watch this. Are you a huge hardcore Emilia fan? Do you love Puck? Are you a light novel reader? Web novel included? Perhaps you just want to consume anything ReZero related. ReZero readers will definitely get the most out of this ReZero special. And even then, keep in mind some things have been cut or changed slightly. But how about for ReZero anime only fans? If it tells you anything, personally after watching this, I didn't really feel any need to watch this again anytime soon. To be honest, if you're not already in Japan where you could easily watch this, I really wouldn't recommend driving more than 30 minutes to catch this in theaters. I mean, definitely by all means check the special out when it comes out on Blu-ray. If anything, it might be more enjoyable watching this at home with different expectations, compared to watching this in the theater. I would even suggest watching this after certain key events in ReZero Season 2. That way, you'll have a lot more context and it'll really just further your enjoyment of this. So, light novel readers, definitely rush out. Anime only people, go ahead and take your time. Overall for me, I think it did feel lukewarm after the intro and certain parts here and there. Still, I do think it's worth a watch. I would even go as far as saying that it's something that I would expect to age well over time. As for ReZero Season 2, since I've been bringing that up a lot, ReZero Season 2 actually has been confirmed. The billion-dollar question is when. You might have heard me mention last time that I was really expecting this post-credit just confirming an actual release date for Season 2. Unfortunately, that didn't happen. The actual post-credit here is pretty forgettable. I should mention some rumors about ReZero Season 2 releasing in early 2020. Keep in mind that Isekai Quartet Season 2 is being released in the winter anime season, which is why I'm placing my bets on ReZero Season 2 coming out in spring anime season, at the latest by summer. But anyway, more important, let me know your thoughts down below. Is anyone here more curious about Emilia? Are you planning to check this out, especially after this video? For any Rem fans, definitely check out my video diving into Rem. Be sure to subscribe so you don't miss my anime videos on Konosuba, ReZero, SAO, My Hero Academia, and more. And I'll see you guys later.